Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Moch Niam Syarif and today I want to explain you about my research. My research is an analysis type of sentence used in context. Study at third semester students of language department of UIN Wali Songo Semarang in academic year 2020 and 2021. The first thing I want to explain about the background of this research. As you know, language is a system of communication used in particular country and community, and language used to be tools of communication to understand one people and another people. Especially English language. English language is an international language that can make the people from one country understand to the people in another country. And then in English language, to master English language, we need to master 4 skills of basic language. There are listening, speaking, writing, and reading. Reading is one of language skill that must mastered by the student of language learning. In writing, there are many things that you need to master. They need to you to mastering. And these several things is sentence, grammar, punctuation, and another things. Here, in this research, I want to describing the skill of students' ability in using the sentence in this research. I want to describe the students' ability in using sentence and how they can and how their ability to make a good sentence in a recontext. So I hope this study can help them to develop and to make they realize their weakness in writing skill. So the first thing is the research question. The research question of the study is what types of sentence are used by students in the third semester in recontext. The research objective. The objective of this study is to describe the types of sentence used by students third semester of English language department of UIN Wali Songo Semarang in recontext. The pedagogical significance. There are two main part of pedagogical significance. The first is theoretical benefit. The second is practical benefit. Theoretical benefit. In theoretical benefit, the researcher wishes that this result will supply a useful additional information to the others. They will know more about English, especially in writing skill and in how to write the right context. In practical benefit for an English teacher, for the student, and for researcher. For the English teacher, the result of this research expected to provide them with an alternative technique to teach writing. For the student, the results of the research expect to give them the experience in developing writing skill, especially in the context. For another researcher, can develop the experience of this research. Okay, and then previous research. The first, I take the previous research from the thesis of Siti Mamdudah Umriyah from UIN Wali Songo Semarang itself. The types of Sentences is used in news items text. A study at third semester students of Language Department of UIN Wali Songo Semarang in academic year 2016 and 2017. And the second preview research, the thesis of Kanifatul Hikmah from Muhammadiyah University of Purwokerto under the title Analysis of Student Problem in Writing Recontext at the First Grade of Man Kebumen 1 in 2013 and 14. And the next in the literature review, here I want to discuss about the sentence. Sentence is a group of words that are put together to mean something. The sentence is the basic unit of language which expresses a complete thought. It does this by following grammatical basic rule of syntax. According to Westport, sentence is derived from Latin sententia, which literally means feeling or opinion. The field of grammar, this meaning has especially to mean an utterance that express a feeling, an assertion, a question, a comment, a wish, or exclamation, which is writing usually begin a capital mark and with period, question mark, and exclamation mark. So the kind of sentence, the main kind of sentence, there are four main of sentence. The first is declarative sentence. Declarative sentence is the simple statement that rely for information. The sentence used as the common of sentence for the example, she ran, my cat is blue, and another thing. And the second is imperative sentence. Imperative sentence is a type of sentence that give instruction or advice and express a command or order, direction, or a request. This sentence is usually simple and short sentence. Like an example, have a good day, stop beating the dog. And the third, interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence is a sentence to ask direct question and punctuated at the sentence with question mark and the end with the question mark. And the example, how are you, where are you come from, and another thing. The fourth, exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence is used to convey a strong emotion with exclamation mark. Like the example, yes, we won this game, and another thing. And the next, based on the structure of sentence, there are four types of sentence too. The first is simple sentence. Simple sentence is sentence that consists of independent clause, and the independent clause containing a subject and a verb and express a complete thought. For example, Mary liked tea. Then consists of one clause and one clause. It consists of subject and verb. And the second is compound sentence. Pardon me. Compound sentence has two or more independent clause connected by a conjunction or a semicolon. Each of these clause form a sentence alone. The conjunction is are, and, but, or, not, yet. So for example, I like coffee, Mary like tea. I like coffee and Mary like tea. That is a sentence. I like coffee and Mary like tea. There is two independent clause. And then the third is complex sentence. Complex sentence is a sentence that consists of independent clause and dependent clause. Dependent clause start with subordinating conjunction or a relative noun and consists of a subject and verb, but does not express a complete thought. The common subordinating conjunction are After all thought, as becomes before, how, if, one, since, and then many other. And the example is, he left in hurry after he got a phone call. He left in a hurry after he got a phone call. Okay, and the last is the compound and complex sentence. Compound and complex sentence consists of at least two independent clauses and more dependent clause. For example, John didn't come back because he was ill, so Mary was not happy. Okay, and the next is the recount text. The recount text itself. The context is a text that tell about a story or activity. The goal of recount text is to entertain reader about a story. Based on Knapp and Watkins, state that recount text is the simple text type. Recount text has been taught to the student from senior high school until the student college. This text written by using past tense to tell the event that happened to the writer. And then next, the research design. The research design here, in this research, the researcher will use descriptive research, and this purpose of descriptive research is to systematically describe or explain the fact and characteristic of the population, and this will be described in the ability of the student. The research use qualitative research. Qualitative research occur through case study or experience or personal experience, introspection, life story, interview. The researcher will use qualitative research in this study. The next, source of data or participant and setting. This research will conduct at third semester of English Language Department of Queen Wali Songs Marak in academic year 2020-21. The participants of this research are the student of 3A, 3B, 3C of Student English Language Department. The method of collecting data. The method of collecting data in this research is documentation. And the researcher use the documentation to observe the result of the student in the context. Method of analyzing data. The data collected will classified by sentence used by the student. The sentence in recount text will divide into simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. To describe the dominant of the sentence used by students in recount text, the researcher used the descriptive analysis. This analysis to know the percentage of sentence used by student in recount text. The research will use the formula P equal F per N times 100%. Procedure and timeline. And the first, researcher will take the documentation from the students from the class participant. The second, the researcher read all of the recontexts of the participant. The third, then the researcher identify the type of sentence used in recontext, and the sentences are underlined based on the types. The last, classification data based on the kinds of English sentence and analyzing the present tense of the sentence in pre-context. That's all my presentation. Maybe it can give you an understanding about my explanation and my research proposal. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.